Let me ask you something. When was the last time you woke up and decided, today I'm going to be excellent? Not good, not average, not even great, but excellent. Because the truth is, we live in a world where mediocrity is the norm. People settle for good enough because it's easier and safer, and it doesn't demand much. But let me tell you something powerful. Good enough is the enemy of greatness. If you're here today and you've been playing small, this is your wake-up call. By the end of this talk, you're going to understand one thing: excellence is not about what you have, it's about what you're willing to give. So buckle up. This isn't a feel-good speech. This is a call to action. Excellence is a habit, not an accident. It's not something that happens to you by chance or luck. It's the result of intentional, consistent action. Too many people look at success stories and think they must be talented or they got lucky. But let me tell you the truth: excellence isn't about talent, and it's not about luck. It's about the small, deliberate choices you make every single day. Excellence is built in the mundane, the unseen hours, and the mornings and the late nights when no one's watching and no one's applauding. It's in the quiet moments when you decide to keep going when it would be easier to quit. Think about it. How many times have you seen someone with incredible potential wasted because they weren't willing to put in the work? Talent can get you noticed, but only habits can take you to the finish line. The world is full of people who are talented but stuck in mediocrity because they haven't developed the discipline to pursue excellence. Excellence is about showing up every day, not just when you feel like it, not just when it's convenient. It's about doing the hard things consistently because you've committed to a standard higher than average. Let's break it down. A habit is something you do automatically without thinking about it. Imagine if striving for excellence became as automatic for you as brushing your teeth or your shoes. What if you trained yourself to always ask, is this my best work? Am I giving everything I've got right now? That's how excellence becomes a habit, by consistently making the choice to push yourself, even in the small things. Because the truth is, excellence isn't found in the big, flashy moments. It's built in the details, in the consistency of your effort, in the discipline of your daily actions. People often get discouraged because they think excellence requires some massive overnight transformation. It doesn't. Excellence is built one decision at a time. It's choosing to study a little longer when you want to quit. It's deciding to run an extra mile when your legs are tired. It's giving 100% in a practice session when no one else seems to care. Over time, these small, consistent decisions add up and they compound into something extraordinary. What you repeatedly do becomes who you are. If you want to achieve excellence, stop waiting for the perfect moment or the right conditions. Start now with what you have and where you are. Excellence doesn't wait for permission, and it doesn't care about excuses. It only cares about action. You don't have to be perfect to start, but you do have to start to be excellent. Every day you have an opportunity to improve, to refine, to get better. And every time you choose to act in alignment with excellence, you're training your mind and body to expect more from yourself. So eventually it stops being an effort and starts being who you are. That's when excellence stops being something you chase and becomes a part of you. Your standards define your success. They are the invisible lines that determine what you will and won't tolerate in your life. These standards dictate how you show up, the quality of your work, and ultimately the results you achieve. Excellence doesn't come to those who merely wish for it. It comes to those who demand it of themselves. If you've been stuck in mediocrity or wonder why you're not reaching your potential, it's time to take a hard look at the standards you've set. Because here's the truth: the level of success you achieve will never exceed the standards you hold for yourself. Think about it. Every choice you make reflects your standards. When you accept less than your best effort, you reinforce the idea that good enough is okay. When you let distractions pull you away from your goals, you're telling yourself that focus isn't a priority. Your standards are not just what you aspire to, they're what you consistently allow. If you allow laziness, procrastination, or half-hearted effort, that's the level of success you'll get in return. But when you decide to raise your standards, everything changes. Raising your standards isn't easy. It requires you to confront your comfort zone and push beyond it. It means saying no to things that don't align with your goals, even when it's inconvenient. It means holding yourself accountable, even when no one else is watching. When you raise your standards, you're setting a new baseline for what's acceptable in your life. You're no longer satisfied with mediocrity because you've decided that your time, your energy, and your potential are too valuable to waste. Here's the thing: high standards create high expectations, and high expectations drive performance. When you set a standard of excellence for yourself, you force yourself to rise to meet it. You start making decisions based on where you want to go, not where you currently are. You begin to attract opportunities that align with your new level of commitment. But it all starts with a decision to demand more from yourself. People often fear raising their standards because it's uncomfortable. It forces them to let go of old habits, excuses, and relationships that no longer serve them. But that discomfort is where growth happens. If you're not willing to challenge yourself, you'll stay exactly where you are. Excellence requires sacrifice. And the first thing you have to sacrifice is the belief that mediocrity is acceptable. Once you raise your standards, you'll notice a shift not just in what you achieve, but in how you see yourself. You'll begin to walk with more confidence, approach challenges with more resilience, and tackle opportunities with more purpose. You'll no longer settle for good enough because you've trained yourself to expect more. Success isn't reserved for the lucky or the talented. It's reserved for those who refuse to lower their standards, no matter how tough the road gets. Your standards are your foundation. Build them high and success will follow. Excellence demands sacrifice. This isn't something most people want to hear, but it's the hard truth. Achieving greatness requires you to give up something. It might be time, comfort, habits, or even people who don't push you to be better. The pursuit of excellence is not for the faint of heart. It asks for your full commitment, and in return, it rewards you with extraordinary results. Too many people want the rewards of excellence, but aren't willing to make the sacrifices necessary to earn them. They want to be successful without giving up the easy things that are holding them back. But here's the catch: if you aren't willing to give something up, you'll never make room for something better. In order to achieve excellence, you have to understand that comfort is the enemy of growth. People often look for shortcuts, trying to find ways to do less work and still achieve more. But excellence doesn't come in shortcuts. It comes through the hard work, the late nights, the extra effort when no one else is looking. Sacrificing comfort means pushing through the discomfort of learning something new, stepping into a space where you're not familiar or confident, and taking risks that others won't take. It means doing the things that are hard, the things that challenge you, the things that force you to grow beyond where you are right now. If you want to reach new levels, you can't stay in the same place you've always been. The cost of excellence is your willingness to be uncomfortable. This sacrifice also extends to your time. Excellence happens by accident, and it doesn't happen by waiting for the perfect moment. It happens by making time for it, even when life gets busy or chaotic. Excellence is a choice, and that choice demands that you prioritize what matters most. That means saying no to distractions, to things that seem urgent but aren't important. It's about making the decision to invest your time into the things that will pay off in the long run, even if that means sacrificing time with friends, scrolling through social media, or watching TV. Your time is one of the most precious resources you have, and when you choose excellence, you choose to invest it wisely. And then there's the sacrifice of old habits. To be excellent, you have to be willing to let go of the things that have been holding you back. This could be negative thought patterns, unproductive routines, or a lack of discipline. Excellence requires new thinking, new ways of doing things, and a willingness to grow beyond your comfort zone. It's not about trying harder in the same old way, it's about doing things differently. This could mean waking up earlier, planning your day more effectively, or seeking out mentors who can push you to new heights. It's about being self-aware enough to recognize what needs to change, and then being courageous enough to make those changes. The sacrifices aren't always obvious at first, but they compound over time. The price you pay for excellence is always worth it. Sacrifice is not about giving up what you love, it's about giving up what holds you back from achieving your full potential. Excellence requires you to walk away from mediocrity and embrace the discomfort of growth. And once you've made those sacrifices, you'll begin to see the payoff not just in success, but in the pride of knowing you earned it through your relentless commitment to excellence. The gap between good and great is effort. Many people wonder what separates the average from the exceptional, the successful from the mediocre. The answer is simple: effort. It's not talent, it's not luck, and it's not some hidden secret. The difference is the willingness to push beyond what's comfortable, to put in that extra bit of work when everyone else is ready to quit. Excellence is earned by those who refuse to stop until they've given everything they've got, even when no one is watching. It's the willingness to do more than is expected, more than is required, and more than is comfortable. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times you settle for good enough because it seemed easier? How many times have you been on the verge of something great but stopped short because it was too hard, too tiring, or too inconvenient? Most people stop at good, but the real winners, the ones who reach greatness, are the ones who keep going when everyone else has turned back. They understand that greatness isn't something that just happens. It's the result of relentless effort, of pushing through obstacles and refusing to give up. When you make the effort to go that extra mile, you don't just close the gap between good and great, you create new levels of possibility for yourself. Effort isn't just about working harder, it's about working smarter with focus and determination. It's about being deliberate in how you spend your time and energy. Some people work hard, but they don't see results because they're not working with purpose. Excellence demands both hard work and smart choices. It's about being intentional with your actions, setting clear goals, and committing to the process of improvement. The extra effort isn't just about doing more, it's about doing it better. It's about finding ways to push the boundaries of what you're capable of, to constantly improve and to keep moving forward, no matter how many setbacks you face. When you embrace the idea that greatness is in the effort, you start to see every challenge as an opportunity. The difference between good and great isn't just about who has the best circumstances or the most natural talent. It's about who is willing to put in the work when things get tough. When you face challenges head on and keep pushing, you build a level of resilience that transforms you. Every time you push through the hard days, you strengthen your mental toughness, your resolve, and your belief in what's possible. This commitment to putting in the effort day after day, no matter how small the progress seems, is what eventually separates you from the crowd. Effort also builds momentum. At first, it may feel like you're pushing against an uphill battle. The progress might seem slow, or the results may feel insignificant. But keep going. When you consistently put in effort, even on the tough days, you start to build momentum that carries you through the hardest parts of your journey. The effort you put in today may not show immediate results, but it compounds over time. And before you know it, you're running on momentum, and greatness becomes inevitable. So when you're thinking about what it takes to go from good to great, remember this as the effort that counts. Greatness isn't handed to you, it's earned by those who are willing to give everything they have every day. It's the effort that closes the gap, pushes past limits, and creates a life of excellence. Excellence starts where excuses end. This is one of the hardest truths for most people to accept, but it's one that must be faced if you want to truly achieve greatness. Excuses are the chains that keep you anchored in mediocrity. They are the mental barriers we create to justify why we can't do something, why we didn't succeed, or why we didn't put in our best effort. I didn't have time. I'm not good enough. I'm too tired. It's too hard. These are all excuses, and they're keeping you from the excellence you're capable of. When you stop making excuses, you free yourself to take control of your own destiny. Too many people let excuses dictate their lives. They believe that the reason they haven't achieved their goals is due to circumstances beyond their control. The truth is, success is not determined by external factors, but by your internal decisions. How many times have you faced challenges and immediately thought of a reason why it wouldn't work? That's the moment when excellence is on the line, when it's easiest to give in to the comfortable excuse, to believe that the situation is out of your hands. But the moment you stop making excuses and take responsibility for your actions, you regain control. It doesn't matter what's happening around you. Excellence is about how you respond to those circumstances. Excuses are often rooted in fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of looking foolish. They are the easy way out when things get tough, but they also keep you stuck. They prevent you from taking risks and pushing beyond what you think is possible. If you want to achieve excellence, you have to be willing to face the discomfort of pushing through those fears. Excellence is about showing up when it's hard, not when it's easy. It's about taking action despite the doubts and uncertainties. And it's about refusing to hide behind excuses when things don't go your way. The more you let go of excuses, the more you'll discover what you're truly capable of. When you start holding yourself accountable and stop relying on excuses, something amazing happens. You unlock your potential. It's as if a weight is lifted off your shoulders. Suddenly you're no longer a victim of your circumstances, you're the master of them. You can choose how to respond to any situation, and the moment you realize that nothing can stop you. Your reactions, your mindset, and your commitment are all within your control. And the more you embrace this, the more power you have to shape your own success. Excuses are the crutches that stop you from running the race. When you stop relying on them, you begin to build strength and resilience. You learn to overcome obstacles, not by making excuses, but by facing them head on. Excellence is found in the moments when you choose to push forward in spite of the difficulties. Every time you refuse to make an excuse, you build a stronger foundation for your success. The key to excellence is simple. It's the commitment to never make an excuse. When you stop justifying why you can't and start taking full responsibility for what you can do, you take control of your future. Excellence will never be something that just happens. It's something you create by taking ownership and refusing to let excuses stand in your way. The legacy of excellence is not just about individual success. It's about the impact you leave on the world and the people around you. Excellence doesn't just transform your life, it transforms the lives of others too. When you strive for excellence, you're not just creating a future for yourself. You're setting an example that inspires, motivates those who look up to you. Your pursuit of excellence becomes a beacon for others to follow, and that ripple effect can change entire communities, organizations, and even societies. But this starts with understanding that excellence is bigger than you. It's about how you contribute to something greater than yourself. When you achieve excellence, it's easy to think that it's all about personal gain, better results, more recognition, or bigger rewards. But true excellence isn't self-serving. It's about using your success to lift others up. People are watching you whether you realize it or not. Every time you perform at your best, every time you go the extra mile, you're setting an example that others can follow. Your success becomes a living, breathing example of what's possible when you refuse to settle for mediocrity. And this example doesn't just inspire those closest to you, it has the potential to influence entire generations. This is especially true in leadership. Whether you're leading a team, a family, or just your own life, excellence creates an environment where others feel empowered to rise to their own potential. Leadership isn't just about telling others what to do, it's about showing them what's possible. When you demonstrate excellence through your actions, you create a culture of excellence around you. Your excellence becomes contagious, motivating those around you to step up their game and push themselves beyond what they thought was possible. And this impact doesn't stop with the people you interact with directly. It spreads like wildfire as others see the example you set and take it with them into their own lives. But your legacy of excellence isn't limited to the people you see every day. It stretches beyond your immediate circle into the wider world. When you choose to pursue excellence, you are contributing to a larger movement of people who are committed to raising standards, raising barriers, and achieving greatness. Think about the leaders, innovators, and trailblazers who have shaped history. What did they leave behind? They didn't just leave a legacy of personal achievement, they left a legacy of inspiring others to achieve more, to think bigger, and to do the impossible. This is the power of excellence. It's not about what you can accomplish alone, but about how your actions ripple outward and encourage others to do the same. Excellence also leaves behind a legacy of resilience. When you push through failure, when you rise again after falling, you demonstrate that success isn't about never failing, it's about getting up every time you do. By embracing challenges and continuing to strive for excellence, you show others that setbacks aren't the end of the road. Instead, they're part of the process, and overcoming them is what builds true strength. Your resilience becomes a source of inspiration to those who are struggling, reminding them that they too can overcome their own obstacles and achieve greatness. In the end, the legacy of excellence is about more than just the results you achieve. It's about the lasting impact you make on the world and the way your example inspires others to reach for their own excellence. Your pursuit of greatness isn't just for you, it's for everyone who comes into contact with your journey. When you commit to excellence, you create a legacy that doesn't just live in the accomplishments you've made, it lives in the lives you've touched and the inspiration you've sparked. This is the true power of excellence. It's not only about leaving a mark on the world, but about lighting the way for others to follow.